Kevin Harvick is officially headed to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, but that's not the real story here. Because this 2027 class feels like NASCAR sending a message about its identity, its history, and where the sport believes it's heading next. One inductee represents raw modern era greatness. Another represents leadership during one of NASCAR's biggest transitions. And the third, a reminder that stock car racing was built long before the spotlight ever arrived. And honestly, this might be one of the most symbolic Hall of Fame classes NASCAR has picked in years. The NASCAR Hall of Fame officially announced its class of 2027, and as expected, Kevin Harvick goes in on the first ballot. No debate, no suspense, 60 Cup Series wins, a championship, multiple eras survived, multiple generations beaten. But Harvick's career was never just about statistics. This was the driver who stepped into the impossible situation after Dale Earnhardt's death. Think about that pressure for a second. NASCAR didn't just lose a legend in 2001, it lost the face of the sport. And suddenly, Harvick became the young driver carrying one of the most emotionally charged rides in racing history. Most drivers would have cracked under that weight. Instead, Harvick built a Hall of Fame career. Joining him on the modern ballot is Jeff Burton, known across the garage as the Mayor. And that nickname matters. Burton wasn't just respected because he won races. He became one of the sport's most trusted voices during some turbulent years for NASCAR. As a driver, he helped define the late 90s and early 2000s era. But off the track, Burton became a connector between drivers, executives, broadcasters, and fans. Even after retirement, he stayed deeply involved through television analysis and leadership roles around the sport. And then there's Larry Phillips from the Pioneer Ballot. Casual fans may not know his name immediately, but hardcore short track fans absolutely do. Phillips reportedly collected over 1,000 wins in his racing career and dominated grassroots NASCAR competition for years. 5 NASCAR Weekly Series championships. That's not hype. That's pure racing legacy. This selection feels intentional for NASCAR. You've got Harvick representing elite national success, Burton representing leadership and stability, Phillips representing the roots of stock car racing itself, and then the landmark award goes to Lesa Kennedy, one of the most influential executives the sport has ever had. Her role behind the scenes helped NASCAR navigate massive business changes, media evolution, sponsorship shifts, and some difficult periods for the sport's popularity. So this Hall of Fame class isn't random. It's NASCAR honoring every layer of its identity at once. Now here's where this gets really interesting. Kevin Harvick entering the Hall of Fame immediately reopens the conversation about where he ranks historically among NASCAR's modern legends. Because Harvick's career was complicated in the best possible way. He raced during one of the most stacked eras ever. Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth, Denny Hamlin, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano. Multiple championship caliber generations overlapping at once, and Harvick stayed relevant through all of it. That's rare. Most drivers dominate one era and fade when the sport changes. Harvick adapted constantly. Different rules packages, different playoff systems, different car generations, different team dynamics, and he still won. That adaptability might actually be his greatest accomplishment. There's also the emotional side of his legacy. NASCAR fans watched Harvick evolve in real time. Early in his career, he was aggressive, fiery, and sometimes explosive. Later, he became one of the sport's smartest veterans and strongest analytical voices. That evolution matters because it made him relatable to multiple generations of fans. Now compare that to Jeff Burton's Hall of Fame case. Burton's numbers alone probably create debate, but Hall of Fame voting in NASCAR has never been only about trophies. Influence matters, respect matters, leadership matters. And Burton became one of the sport's unofficial ambassadors. When NASCAR faced internal tension between drivers and leadership, Burton was often right in the middle, helping hold things together. That role doesn't show up in statistics, but people inside the garage absolutely remember it. That's why his induction feels bigger than just race wins. As for Larry Phillips, his selection sends another message entirely. NASCAR does not want its grassroots history forgotten. And honestly, that's smart. Modern NASCAR depends heavily on national TV exposure, corporate sponsorships, and superstar branding. But the soul of the sport still lives at short tracks across America. Drivers like Phillips represent the foundation everything else was built on. Without racers like him, the national stars never exist. Now, the fan reaction to this class is going to be fascinating. Most fans will celebrate Harvick immediately. That's the easy one. First ballot Hall of Famer feels completely deserved. Burton is where debate starts. Some fans will argue his influence outweighs his win total. Others will say NASCAR values personality and broadcasting too heavily in Hall of Fame voting now. And honestly, both sides probably have valid points. Meanwhile, longtime racing fans are going to love the Larry Phillips recognition because it acknowledges a level of racing many mainstream audiences overlook completely. This class almost feels designed to create conversation between generations of NASCAR fans. Now let's talk future impact. Best case scenario, this Hall of Fame class strengthens NASCAR's connection between past and present. Harvick remains a major media personality. Burton continues shaping the sport's public voice. Phillips brings renewed attention to grassroots racing culture. NASCAR wins by honoring every corner of its fan base. Worst case scenario, the Hall of Fame debate becomes another division point among fans already split on what NASCAR should prioritize: championships, influence, popularity, or historical importance. Because Hall of Fame discussions are never really about the past. They're about what a sport values most. And this class tells you NASCAR values longevity, leadership, and legacy just as much as raw statistics. The official induction ceremony is set for January 22nd, 27, and there's no question it's going to be emotional, especially when Harvick takes that stage. But here's the bigger question. When NASCAR fans look back 20 years from now, which member of this class will actually leave the biggest long-term impact on the sport? Harvick, Burton, or someone like Larry Phillips, who helped build racing from the ground up before the cameras ever showed up? Drop your answer in the comments, and if you want more NASCAR analysis with real depth, hit subscribe to SportsWire USA.